Hey guys, Randy here, back for the team analysis for the team I used at the VGC 2017, or 2016 I should say, Dallas Regional. I already uploaded my experience video, just a short brief explanation of what I did over there and how it went. And I told you guys that I'll be uploading the analysis on Friday, and of course Friday is here. So I'm going to break down the team I used, the spreads, and talk about what I dealt with and how I can fix a team and show an updated team afterwards. I don't know if I'll use the team again. I probably will. I'm working on getting some new teams. I do want to try out Eevee. I do want to try out like a full Trick Room team. So just depending on what I'm able to perform well with and just have fun with, I'll definitely consider different sets. But because this is my first year still, so I'm still trying to get the hold of things. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into the team. Of course, just to recap, it was 9 rounds of Swiss. I went 6-3. And I used this team locked in, and I'll just go over each mon, the set, why I used it, and then its biggest flaw, and probably its I guess pros and cons of each mon. So, of course, the team was built around Torkoal, the Trick Room Abuser, Charcoal boosted, Quiet Nature, max special attack, max health, and then 4 EVs in the defense. Of course, min speed to take advantage of the Trick Room to be as fast as possible. Fast, quote unquote, because the slower it is, the faster. Of course, 0 attack IVs, so I won't be taking foul play damage that hard. And of course, if confusion were to become a thing, I won't be taking that much damage if I hit myself. So, and of course, maximum special attack investment is pretty much what every Torkoal runs, because you want to hit as hard as possible. Because base 85 isn't too great. So, of course, max investment is pretty much preferred. Charcoal, of course, boosts fire-type attacks with 1.2 power, so it's pretty much a life orb to all fire-type attacks. And, of course, Drought boosts the power of fire-type moves, so that's pretty self-explanatory there. Protect, Standard, Eruption. Its most powerful fire-type stab move, and its spread as well that it can use, and it's most preferable to use. With Heat Wave is the other spread move, and if Torkoal gets below a certain percentage, that's when Heat Wave becomes more useful. I probably should know that percentage, but I actually don't know off the top of my head. I'll probably figure it out in the future. I think it's like just under half is when Heat Wave starts to become more powerful than Eruption. Solar Beam, of course, is there to hit Gastrodon at Milotic. Milotic does tank it, but with Oranguru's Instruct, it'll definitely two-shot some variants depending on how much Spadef is being run. But it's pretty self-explanatory with Torkoal. The pros, of course, is that this mon is so deadly under Trick Room. There are very, very few mons that can take this thing on. The only mons that take Eruptions well at max health are pretty much Goodra, Araquanid, Milotic, Gastrodon, Tapu Fini, some Garchomps, like bulky Assault Vest Garchomps. And that's pretty much it. In any bulky water and any mon with an immunity to fire are pretty much the only mons that can take this. Like Marowak, any variant of Marowak is two-shotted, I'm pretty sure, with max special defense investment, even with that. Garchomp, some forms are two-shotted if they're not running Assault Vest. Arcanine's two-shotted, max HP Arcanine's two-shotted. Snorlax with Thick Fat still does two-shotted by it. It's incredibly powerful. So I would say the biggest pro is that it's very powerful, and it can deal with stuff like Kartana and Celesteela that are very, very prominent in the meta right now. And it can take them on if Kartana isn't boosted or if Celesteela doesn't have Leech Seed set up. But I mean, Heat Wave is always going to kill any form of it, so it's not really a big deal at all. The biggest con for this mon, of course, is that it's really reliant on Trick Room or Lilligant to help it out. And whenever I saw like Tapu Fini or Rain, I was really reluctant to bring it just because of how hard it is completely counter Torkoal. So the biggest con is that people have the checks for it, and it's just so heavily relied on with its teammates. So I'll bring it to games, just to hit stuff. But like for sure, if I see a Kartana or a Celesteela, I'm bringing Torkoal just because I know it's my main way to deal with it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Torkoal. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Torkoal did all right at the event. It did some work. I remember it decimated a Trick Room team I had to face because when they use Trick Room, Torkoal's pretty much the slowest mon out there. So it definitely did some work during that battle. But besides that, Torkoal's pretty good, and of course the team's built around it. So can't really say much more than that. The biggest thing that I might have to change about this is the EV spread, and I'll go over the changed stuff at the very end. But for now, I'll just stick with what this is gonna keep going. All right, next mon is Oranguru, is the Trick Room setup mon. The spread here is what they recommend on sample sets. Like for instance, over here on this trainertower.com, The Oranguru set is something similar to this. There's Porygon 2. I was looking at that. I'll show you all later, but that's Torkoal. Gotta find it real quick. It's here. I should have pulled this up, but I didn't think I was going to be talking about Porygon 2. But yeah, it's pretty much the same spread as this, except I'm not dumping this 20 special attack in here. I'm keeping it to the defense, as you can see right here. There's a certain calcs that should be planned for, such as Marowak's Flare Blitz, which I don't really find too big of a deal because I have so many ways to deal with Marowak on the team. And then Crocodile, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. The only time Crocodile is a big deal is if it's being used on an EV team, and I'm never gonna rely on Oranguru to take a base like 200 power trip. So it's really unnecessary to put the extra, you know, like more defense than what it has. So yeah, the Flare Blitz is fine. That calc there, but this is a pretty standard spread here. I'm actually not too sure what it does. I just got it from here. I was just reading it up here. I use this at the event because, you know, that's what I'm watching videos over it. So, Citrus Berry, so it can tank a shot. If people were to predict Oranguru to lead in Torkoal, most people would probably predict Torkoal to protect while Oranguru gets a Trick Room up. If they don't have Taunt, most of them is double team into Oranguru, and with Citrus Berry, he can tank pretty much most double team attacks, depending on if they're not dark moves or like dark moves and bug moves. I opted to go with Citrus Berry Elemental Herb just because I didn't really have a big issue with Taunt beforehand, and at the event I didn't have a big issue with Taunt either. I fought it a few times, I faced it a few times, but I just felt like Citrus Berry was the better option here. This is the standard moveset for it. Instruct, as you guys know, it allows the Mon you select to use their move again, and it's mainly used with Torkoal and Trick Room because Torkoal's always going to go first, and then you can go immediately after it, depending on if they have slower Mon, and Instruct, and have Torkoal use 2 Eruptions. So like I said, most Mons are 2-shotted by Eruption, so it's very, very nice to have. The pros, of course, to this Mon is that it has a Trick Room. It's got a very nice ability in telepathy, so it can't be taking teammates damage from like Garchomp's Earthquake. Instruct, of course, allows it to select a Mon that went before it and let it use the move again. So it can even be used with Garchomp out of Trick Room in case, you know, you wanted to get another Earthquake off, and you won't be taking any damage from it due to telepathy. So it's pretty good Mon overall. I didn't really use it that much at the event, is because, like I said, if I didn't bring Torkoal, I wasn't gonna bring Oranguru pretty much because I felt like I didn't really need to use Oranguru without Torkoal, which I really should have done before anyway, because like I said, with Garchomp it probably can do some work too to instruct some Earthquakes to get some 2-shots, because for certain Mons like Coco and Magnezone, some of them might live in Earthquake, one Earthquake, not Magnezone, but Marowak. So having a double Earthquake would be nice to have at certain times. The cons, of course, like I said, is that it kind of relies on Torkoal and Snorlax to be used with it, because otherwise it really doesn't do much besides just Instruct and Trick Room. Like, I'm never gonna send it out there to deal with like fighting types. It's like, I mean, it's a good Mon to take shots, but besides that, it's just heavily relied on with Torkoal. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Next Mon is Garchomp, which is my main like offensive weapon here on the team. Ground DMC Earthquake is a very good move to have. It's able to one-shot Tapu Lele's. It's able to one-shot Marowak's. It's able to one-shot a lot of, you know, like frailer threats that I can't kill with Earthquake. That's mainly what it's there for. It's like a 1 nuke attack that I can use to take on some Mons. Like a Ground DMZ Earthquake along with Tapu Lele's Psychic is able to knock out Porygon 2 and pretty much almost any form of Porygon 2, which was my way of dealing with Porygon 2 at the event. And I'll go more into Porygon 2 later as I finish up the team recap here. Poison Jab's able to hit Tapu Bulu, of course, but most Tapu Bulus, if not all of them, are running max health, and max health Tapu Bulu is always guaranteed to tank 1 Poison Jab from a Jolly max attack Garchomp, unless I poison it. So I just wanted a way to hit Bulu more, a bit more reliably. I don't know if that's a word. A bit more reliable than I had before. I had no idea if that's a word. Because all I had was Torkoal to deal with it beforehand, so I just wanted to make sure I had another way to deal with it, because if it set up lead sheets, and it was kind of hard to take down. Dragon Claw, of course, is my main form of stab. It can actually OHKO some variants of Gudra that aren't running bulk, so most of them are running bulk. So I mean it's a stab. I'm not gonna run Outrage, so I mean there's that. Garchomp did really well at the event. I pretty much brought it to almost every match, every round almost, just because it was so helpful with all the Marowaks and all the Tapu Koko's running around. Although Dazzling Gleam did threaten Garchomp out, I knew it couldn't OHKO, so I was never really afraid to lead with it. I did run into 1 HP Ice Koko, and he saved it for game 2, which kind of screwed me over at the end. So definitely going to be more aware of HP Ice Koko, although I really don't think it's a good move for it, in my opinion. But Garchomp did some good work. I don't really see myself using any other spread, like bulky spread. Yeah, but I mean, Rough Skin came in clutch sometimes. Overall, Garchomp did well. The only bad thing is that, you know, some mons outspeed it, like Koko. That's the only bad thing about Chomp, is that, like, it can't outspeed some of the threats that outspeed. So, but I mean, I can't control that. So, I mean, you know, what can you do? All right, next we have is Lilligant, which is the fast option to back up Torkoal. Of course, everybody knows what this thing does. Focus Sash, I'm able to not be one-shotted by, you know, mons that target this thing, you know, being afraid of Torkoal's threat. After you, of course, is the move that lets you select the target to go immediately after your turn. So, of course, under Chlorophyll and the Sun, you're most likely going to be the fastest mon on the field. So you can, after you Torkoal, to let it go first immediately after you to Eruption and get a nice strong hit off. Sleep Powder is, of course, to put mons to sleep. That could be threats to Torkoal. Of course, the bad thing about Sleep Powder is it's only 75% accurate. So I really don't like that. Like, I really don't want to run Sleep Powder just because I don't like that accuracy miss chance. Like, I really don't like that at all. But I don't really see any other move worth running besides maybe HP Ice for Garchomp. But besides that, I don't really see any other move worth running. If you got Taunt, I definitely run Taunt. But there's really no other move I don't see considering running on this thing. So, yeah. And of course, Energy Balls is the main stab move. I didn't want to run Leaf Storm just because I just wasn't really in need of power. I just figured some reliable Energy Ball damage would be maybe nice for some situations. But yeah, overall, Lilligant, it was good just to deal with Gastrodons because I don't have to bring Torkoal for that. It was able to put some threats to sleep with Chlorophyll. I ended up missing like 1 Sleep Powder, I believe. Of course, the main cons, like I said, it's kind of the same with Oranguru. It kind of relies on Torkoal to be its partner. Like, it definitely needs Chlorophyll, and it definitely needs to be used for after you. I mean, I could use it on Tapu Lele, but Tapu Lele, well, I mean, I think outspeeds this thing. It's Timid Nature. And the Snorlax, of course, there's really no need to put Snorlax to go first, especially with the spread I was running. So, I mean, I didn't bring it to a lot of games just because I knew it needed Torkoal. And then if I didn't bring Torkoal, I wasn't going to bring Lilligant. So, it was just kind of a package deal with Torkoal, so I couldn't always run it that whole time. But yeah, that's it for Lilligant. Next up, I have Tapu Lele, which of course is my other offensive weapon on the special attack side. Running Protect, Sidekick, Moonblast, Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt was my way of dealing with Celesteela, because without Torkoal, Celesteela ran wild on my team. Like, it just lead cheated up and just outstalled my entire team. Thunderbolt two-shot some forms of Celesteela. Of course, I am one-shotted by Heavy Slam. Sidekick hits so hard in the terrain. Max speed, just maximize its speed, which I did regret running. This is the main model I'm going to switch up for the revised team. Yeah, I wasn't going to run Psyche MZ because I wanted extra life orb damage for Celesteela and just for Porygon 2. Porygon 2 proved to be very, very tough for this team to handle, so I'll explain why I make some changes here in a second, but for sure, Lele did some work anyway. It was her and Garchomp I always brought to every round because they work so well together, and they were just my way of nuking, threats and being my main forms of offensive presence. And the greatest thing is that they're not too fast to where they will be like completely shut down in Trick Room, because some teams have Trick Room with like fast Koko and fast Kartana, but these two mons outspeed those two if they're running max speed. So they were like in the middle when it comes to speed tier, so it was okay, but it definitely did suck being outspeed by Kartana and stuff like Celesteela and Pheromosa that definitely is outspeed everything else in the meta right now. But overall, Lele did well. Its cons, of course, was it just couldn't hit Porygon 2 hard enough. Honestly, I really wish I was running Taunt, because Porygon 2 just completely shut down my team with Trick Room and everything like that. Because my team cannot function against the full Trick Room. Like, Porygon 2 Araquanid was the main issue for this team, pretty much, was what I'm trying to say. Because Trick Room without Araquanid is actually kind of easy to deal with, because Torkoal just like kills everything. And Snorlax too. But yeah, definitely the main thing I gotta fix with this is Taunt, and then probably change the TV spread. I might be running Modest in the future. But yeah, I mean, can't really control that. Next, and finally, we have Snorlax, which is an interesting set here. I wasn't running this. Assault Vest set, which was... I'll explain why I ran this in a second. Running Max Attack Brave Nature with maximum defense investment with 4 HP, which I'm pretty sure I was running Spadef, yeah. I just wanted a tank, like a really, really, reliable tank. And with this EV spread, it allowed me to be the ultimate tank. I don't need any HP investment with this base 160 health. I wanted maximum attack investment to hit as hard as I could. Of course, maximum defense investment because its base 65 defense is pretty poor. And then, of course, 4 in Spadef so I can get that doubled or half of it boosted onto with my Assault Vest boost. So I was getting pretty much like almost 200 special defense here along with 35 HP with a pretty, I guess, solid defense stat with investment. Because without investment, it's like in the 85. So the investment definitely was good to have. And, of course, with Dig Fat, it was a sort of reliable way to deal with Torkoal, because with an Assault Vest, I'm pretty sure Snorlax just tanks, quote-unquote tanks an Eruption. But I can check that right here. I actually don't have the calc open for that. I'll open it up here in a second, as you'll see. I'm pretty sure it doesn't take it that well, but because I know with Dig Fat, like Snorlax does not take it that well. Because I've faced a few Snorlax and it didn't really take it all that well. So with 0, let's go 4. I'm not careful, it's adamant. It's 4 plus 1. Yeah, that's level Eruption and doubles. Thick Fat. Am I missing something here? In the Sun. Yeah, so Eruption does pretty much nothing to Snorlax here. This is adamant plus 1 special defense, level 50, charcoal boosted, Eruption in the Sun. It does relatively nothing, but as you can see, without Assault Vest, it does a bit more damage to it. I don't think people were running this spread in the I'm trying to figure, because like it should be doing more than this, but I feel like I'm missing something because my Eruption was doing a lot more to other Snorlax, so I'm not sure why it's only showing so less damage here. Anyway, so like I excuse that little blip there, but I don't know why it's not doing that much, because I was two-shotting Snorlaxes. I was two-shotting. Oh, because they're... Okay, now I understand. They weren't running Thick Fat. They were running Gluttony. That's right. They were running Gluttony. Look. Yeah, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I knew my team was kind of weak to Torkoal, so I was running Assault Vest, Thick Fat, so I can tank it. I probably didn't need Assault Vest, but I just wanted to be able to take it on top of Coco as well, on top of Lele, and have a sponge for those mons. Heavy Slam was my way of hitting the fairy types like Ninetales and Vanillix as well, the ice type, because some of the hail setters were kind of annoying to this team as well. Body Slam, which is an interesting choice, and the reason why I was running Body Slam, for y'all who don't know, Body Slam actually is a very, very reliable way to deal with minimized mons such as Muck and Clefairy, because what Body Slam does, it's a normal base 85 move, and although the description doesn't say it here, if a mon were to use Minimize and Body Slam is targeted to them, if they've already used Minimize at least once, the move becomes a never missable move and its power doubles. So it becomes a base 170 power move. And it never misses. So it becomes like Aerial Ace where it never misses if you use Minimize. And it makes sense because you're body slamming and you're throwing your whole body onto their body, which is getting smaller. So it was a reliable way to deal with it. And although I didn't see it at the event, I just wanted to be sure that it couldn't catch me off guard. So while I did miss out on some crucial power hit in some power, I just wanted to be sure I had a reliable way to deal with it. I did get some Paris too with Body Slam, so I guess it didn't wasn't all that bad. Earthquake was my spread move to deal with like Marowak and stuff like that. Any mon I was weak to ground. And of course, Wild Charge was for Celesteela and Palipper and Bulky Waters. Snorlax was really, really useful at the event. It sponged a lot of hits and it stayed on the field a long time. My only issue with Snorlax is that it wasn't hitting hard enough, and I'm pretty sure Assault Vest is pretty, it's not really a good option for this Lax. I'm definitely going to consider running the Belly Drum Figy Berry set because it can optimize its presence in Trick Room, and if I were to use Lilligant with it, I can definitely, if I were to bring Torkoal, Lilligant, or not even just Torkoal, but even like Lilligant, Lax, Garchomp, and Lele with my Trick Room, or with my maximum attack set up with Belly Drum, I can always after use Snorlax and just nuke mons with Body Slam or Earthquake in case I have to ever do that. So overall, the team was pretty solid. The only issue, like I said, the main issue on this team was dealing with Porygon 2 and Araquanid, because those Trick Room teams were really hard to take on because Torkoal couldn't beat them. Garchomp couldn't reliably deal with Porygon 2 due to Ice Beam. Lele couldn't hit it hard enough, and it took Life Orb damage, and Porygon 2 can just recover. So the main thing I'm going to change from this team are just some of the EV spreads. So I'll show you right here with this new team builder here. This Torkoal spread, of course, I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to have it just pulled up here. I'm going to minimize some of these smaller ones that I opened up here. Incineroar. And Incineroar is pretty cool. I'm going to try using it on a team. There's Lilligant, Garchomp, Assault Vest, you can see there. Alright, here's Torkoal. So as you can see here with Charcoal, with this EV spread allows me to not be... It has a very, very small chance of Tapu Lele Psychic, Modest Nature to one-shot me. 31% chance. They can always Shatter Psyche my Torkoal, but most people know that Psychic's in a one-shot most Torkoal. So I am running this this mixed spread here to give me some special defense boost, some buff. With this defense being this high, it doesn't really need any more defense. I'm going to experiment with this spread, and hopefully it allows me to take some special attacks more, some better special attack hits. I'm pretty sure I can tank a Thunderbolt from Coco now, I'm pretty sure. Not that that was ever a huge issue, but I'm definitely going to experiment with this spread a bit. Probably going to keep the same moveset. Rangaroo, I'm not changing much from there at all. I'm not changing anything from Garchomp saying. Lilligant, no bulk, I need the max speed. Lele is where I'm making the drastic change from Lele. I'm keeping Life Orb for maximum, power. I'm switching from my speed. I'm not gonna run any speed on this thing, just because I feel like I don't need the speed. Because the mons that outspeed it are gonna outspeed it anyway if I'm running Timid, like Garchomp, Kartana, Celesteela, Pheromosa, Tapu Koko. Those mons are gonna outspeed this thing already. Tapu Fini usually don't run speed at all, and if they do run speed, I'll run enough speed to outspeed that. So for now, I'm gonna run this full health invest bulkier tank set, and once I figure out what I need to outspeed, I'll definitely switch it up to the EVs. But for now, I think max HP with taunt is probably the best way to go. That way I can deal with Porygon 2, because I can taunt Porygon 2, prevent Trick Room, prevent recovers, and prevent Porygon 2 from just staying on the field forever. Because my only way of dealing with it reliably was to Ground DMZ, Earthquake into Psychic from Timid Life Orb, but now sometimes going to always OHKO those things. So, because Porygon 2, and it just completely just like shut me down. All my losses the whole day were pretty much to Porygon 2 and its Araquanid shenanigans. So, if I can just neutralize those two threats, it would be great. So that's why I'm opting up for this set here. Dazzling Gleam over Moonblast, because I want the spread damage. I don't think Moonblast is that important, just because stuff like Garchomp is going to almost die to Dazzling Gleam anyway. And Modest Psychic is going to kill any Garchomp that doesn't have Assault Vest. So I don't really need Moonblast for the situation. And Dazzling Gleam is going to kill the mons that I needed to hit, like Como O, which I saw one of them at the event. And it's going to kill those fighting types I need to deal with as well, and the dark types. So I just want another spread move pretty much. So that's why I'm running Dazzling Gleam on that and Taunt. And Snorlax, like I said, I am going to run the Belly Drum set, Belly Drum Gluttony, and of course the Figy Berry. If you guys didn't know, these berries like Figy Berry, the Wiki Berry, a Guava Berry, they were buffed in this generation to where if your Mon falls below 1/4 of an HP, it restores half of your HP. But you got to pay attention to some of the natures, some of these berries, because if you don't have the right nature, it won't work for this Mon. So of course the alternative to Citrus Berry. But Citrus Berry gives you 1/4 of HP when you reach half health. But with Gluttony, you're going to use the berry earlier, so I'm going to get my half HP at half health. So I should be running this much healthier to get the boost. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so with Belly Drum, I'll get half my health taken away, and then get it all back with Figy Berry. It's almost like Z Belly Drum, which could probably be more reliable than that, because in case someone has a move like Unnerve, or like ability Unnerve, but that might be better, because with Z Gluttony, with Z Belly Drum, I can run Thick Fat. I might look into that actually. But anyway, so with this allows me to boost Trick Room well, and of course with Lilligant, with After You, can definitely help out with just nuking stuff with +6 Earthquakes and just +6 returns. So I'm definitely going to experiment with this set. Although I'm not going to be able to tank those special hits like I used to, I definitely do need some sort of offensive presence that can late game sweep. So, and be another Mon that can be helpful in Trick Room. So That's pretty much the changes to the team. Again, I'll keep changing it. Like, this isn't solid. This is my first event, so I'm gonna keep changing it up. I'm definitely gonna be experimenting with some new teams in the future. Like I have some like this EV team I'm gonna try out here. I'm gonna try out this this Trick Room team. I to get to get to like testing it out here. So expect some more team breakdowns or maybe some battle spot stuff with these teams. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that team breakdown. It's a pretty solid team, like I said. Not the greatest, not the worst, but it helped me out. 6-3, like I said. If I had a way of dealing with Porygon 2 and like Araquanid and those Trick Room kind of sub teams, not sub teams, but like half Trick Room teams, I think it would have probably made like 7-2 maybe. Maybe even 8-1. I don't know, but if I would have had a better way to deal with those shenanigans, I probably could have done better. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed this team recap, and yeah, I'll catch y'all next time.